everybody around you, except maybe a few of your loved ones. The politics, the money, the fame, the clicks, who likes you, who doesn't like you, doesn't matter. It's, did you stand up for what was right? We're gone way over. I see people are heading home and heading out. Bye guys, make sure that you go on and vote for who you like. I just wanted to end quickly with that it's really important that you find your leadership in your county. I also very quickly, Paul Terry, are you still here in the room? So Paul Terry is an elected official in Belknap. He's there in the back of the room. And anyone who's been following the Belknap story, can you just stand up and do a round of applause to this man right here? And I'm going to come to you. I have never seen a group like I've seen the Belknap County Committee of Republicans. They were the first to stand up to our 9 arrests. They were the ones that wrote the resolution to demand an independent investigation of what happened that day that was ignored by our executive council. They were the strongest of all of our 10 counties. They were the biggest sword in Sununu's side. They have just experienced in the last 2 weeks an attack that is worse, well, to quote Paul Terry, it's like Pearl Harbor up here. Sununu, Tim Lang, the establishment, something is horribly wrong. We have an audit that's due to be released in a few weeks. I have a dear friend who is actually the producer of Soulfest. I know information about what happened with the contract with Soulfest and what's happened with Gunstock far better than many in this state. Nothing is ever by coincidence. There is a reason why the producer of Soulfest and I crossed paths years ago and journeyed through his stroke together. And he was actually the first person to ever ask me, Teresa, are you red-pilled? To which my reply was, I had to just go look that up, and I would say, yes, I am. Dan Russell knows truth about Gunstock. We are sitting in the state that is the epicenter for global agenda, tyranny, and money laundering. We're a beautiful state. Trees and rivers, who would have thought? Who would have thought Epstein's girlfriend Maxwell would have been found here after hiding for a year? I started off as an advocate for kids in foster care. I figured out what was going on at the Sununu Center long before it ever broke the news. I am here for such a time as this. I was also in banking, as I mentioned to all of you. In New Hampshire, we have no helmet law, no seatbelt law. We also have very, very limited oversight when it comes to trust accounts. Money can flow in and out of this state without anyone ever knowing where it came from and where it's going. When you see trust fund, the children's trust fund, this trust fund, that trust fund, this commission, that commission, I saw a vision of a large tree in a dream. When a dream sticks with you a year later, you know that it's something you're supposed to pay attention to. And this tree, the root ball, was bigger than our state capitol building. But what happened was this tree was blowing in the wind, and it was blowing in the wind, and I started to see the earth move, and it did topple over. And I just remember all the creatures scurrying from the daylight. The winds are blowing, and we're going to topple down that tree, and the truth will be revealed. Every knee will bow, whether it happens in this life or after we take our last breath. None of us are here by chance, and it is only an appeal to heaven. that can save us now. We are to be his hands and feet. Esther 4:14 says, if you remain silent, you and your family will perish. It's no coincidence that Esther was a foster child raised by her uncle, and she had to face the king, but she saved her people. It's a short chapter in the Bible. Whether you're religious or not, it's very inspirational. She had to go to the king's quarters, and it could have cost her her life. I've joked with many of you that I don't care if somebody has money and fame and power, whether you're Bob Clegg or whoever you are in the state, whatever role you've played, I will ask you the hard questions. I have no fear. I do not fear death. And if I disappear in the back of a black van, so be it. It is time, you guys, for us to be brave, to be courageous, and talk to people. Have you heard about the resolve? New Hampshire Patriots are taking it back. That's all you gotta do. Super simple. I don't want anyone to leave tonight without a bundle of cards. They do no good sitting in my garage. I want everyone to leave tonight with a yard sign. They do no good in the back of my trunk. Be careful with the yard signs, they get stolen. Put them in your car, put them in property where it's safe, or just wait until you do that sign wave with your state senator in your district, or your executive council member in your district. But I want you to take those home. If you can't afford them, it's okay. We'll figure it out. God has a plan. I appreciate every single one of you, and I love, love, love your fight. I know Dan wants to talk more about the Constitution. I want all of you to know more about the Constitution. We have to know about the Constitution. We have to assemble. We have to get into our county groups, even if it's remote by Zoom or whatever it takes. I also want to do an appeal to heaven. I have 3 songs that I've picked out. 3 minutes each. I know the late night's getting long, everyone's getting tired. Certainly you have to head home, go for it. But we're gonna give Dan 3 to 5 minutes to wrap up. And then I'm gonna give you the 3 songs that have carried me through my journey. One is Don't Tread on Me, one is Lion of Judah, and the other one is Psalm 46. All of them are warrior songs. All of them are about taking up your authority to do battle against evil. Because this is not flesh and blood. This is good and evil. And whether you're religious or have any spiritual belief, that's okay. I think everyone in this room knows that evil is real. And it's up to us to take authority over it and say no more. Enough. Enough is enough. We're not doing this game anymore. You got it?
Thank you, Teresa. I want to be real brief. People ask me all the time, what can I do? What can I do? You know so much, but what can I do? What can I take forward? The founding fathers left us a set of instructions that apply to everyone in this room, and this is how we take our state back. And it's because we have not been aware of this mandate. As I said before, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. And why is that? Because then you can't stick up for yourself, because no one else will. The very last article in our state constitution was 38 when our state constitution was written in 1784. And the last section, I found it very prophetically on point, so let me share it with you. It's called Article 38, it's in the Bill of Rights. Quote, a frequent recurrence to the fundamental principles of the Constitution, and a constant adherence to justice, moderation, temperance, industry, frugality, and all social virtues are indispensably necessary to preserve the blessings of liberty and good government. The people, therefore, ought to have a particular regard to all those principles in their choice of their officers and representatives. And that's why we're here tonight, right? To discern about the people who have spoken to ask for your vote, right? To represent you. And so this is the test that you should apply looking at these qualities in your elected officials. And to continue. The people ought therefore to have a particular regard to all those principles in the choice of their officers and representatives, and they have a right to require of their lawgivers and magistrates an exact and constant observance of them in the formation and the execution of the laws necessary for the good administration of government. How profound is that, folks? That's exactly what every child that graduates from school should understand this. For those of you who don't have a copy of this, Karen Testerman took the 1784 Constitution, the current one that's on the website, the U.S. Constitution, and put this book together. And within it is a very important understanding of how apathy is not new. 50 years, in 1831, 55 years after the Declaration of Independence was written, there was a warning. There was a warning of a public man who said, hey, apathy is already setting in. The young people have stopped taking an interest in the second most important book in their lives, which is, of course, the Bible being first, the state constitution being second. This was repeated again in 1903. So, folks, it's up to you, because the only person responsible for your liberty, your freedom, and your own protection is looking at you in the mirror. So thank you again. God bless you for coming this evening.